What's going on, fam? We live at Hardcut Bully Kennels. Get my boys out to run around. It's that boy Legend. That boy is amazing. He's out with Candy Crush and Hardcut Cream, man. We live at Hardcut Bully Kennels, man. Today we talking about breeding, man. Breeding bullies. Is it hard? Is it an easy thing to do? Is it something that you can get into? It's that boy Domino, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and let Domino up out of there too. Y'all don't know, look at that. See, y'all don't know nothing about it real. Look at that boy. Look at that boy. So today we're talking about is breeding bullies hard, because I've seen a few things here lately. You know what I'm saying? Most athletic bully camp on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So I consider myself to be an expert on this subject of breeding bullies. I consider myself an expert on the subject of breeding healthy bullies. And what I would say that it can be difficult at times, but I would say that being a breeder, period, is difficult. And let's go over all of the things that make it difficult, all the things that make it fun and interesting, and the things that you will need, the motivation that you will need to keep everything going if you decide to be a breeder. Because as you can see, I have a very good camp of bullies. It's taken me a few years to build this camp. This is Domino, the black one that you seen, Legend. That's his son. So we're about 3 generations, almost 4 generations into our bloodline of real bullies. And I can take you over and show you the granddad over there if I want to, and I can show you uncles over there. We got a full camp. Let me go show you the puppies too. But for me, breeding bullies is not that hard, but it does entail a lot, because of it's a special breed, and they do have water babies, so it does take a C-section most of the time. This girl right here, come here. Is that Candy? No, that's not Candy. That's Cream. That's Cream. I can only tell them apart because Cream has 1 white leg and Candy has 2. And that's Black Pearl there. We've had a real successful breeding season. But for me, it's not very hard. It does entail a lot, and you do need to have some experience. I think you need to have some experience, period. Now, I was addressed by a young man, asked me about a couple weeks ago. He said he really liked my camp, and he wants to get into dog breeding, but he wanted to know, come here. He wanted to know what I did for a living before I started dog breeding, because he wants to do it, but he don't want to, I have a hard life. So I had to sit down and really think about what to tell him to do to start out that would be the best advice. And I would say that this is not something that you should do if you don't have any money, and it shouldn't be your first primary thing, because you're going to need a little bit of money to do it. As you can see, all my little puppies running around here. You got to keep these puppies at the vet. You got to keep these dogs at the vet. You got to keep the dogs wormed. You got to keep the dogs' shots updated. Keep them from getting into it with each other. Keeping all the scratches down. Just keeping them out of trouble, period. Keeping them out of the street where they don't get hit. That's not to mention the breeding part of it. Now, if we're going to get into it, we really might as well just go ahead and start talking about the females breeding of the American Bully. That may be a problem for you if you're not young. So let me go through that, and then we can kind of break down how you should start. How about that? Because the female is pregnant for 2 months. This breed has what's called a water baby. And that's a puppy that's going to be twice the size that it normally should be, full of fluid. 9 times out of 10, it does not. 10 times out of 10, it doesn't survive. But 9 times out of 10, it's not even born alive. But the key thing is that baby is too big for them to birth. So with that being said, every one of my breedings, for my females, we schedule a C-section, and that C-section cost us $1,000 where we're at. If you don't want to do a C-section on your dog, don't breed bullies. So that would be the hardest thing to get your head wrapped around if you're not used to doing other dog breeds. The hardest thing to get your head around with the bully is you're gonna have to do a C-section. Now there's other things such as artificial insemination, bond stud feeds, and all that, which we can get into. That's a little bit different than a normal, but if you're into breeding, you probably should know about that. But the main thing about that C-section and scheduling your days and knowing when to go get the reverse progesterone test done to see if she's ready for C-section, all of that takes some experience. All of that takes a little bit of experience. Look at this. Look at that boy there. That's that boy Mondo. But that boy Legend, man, he's looking good. Man, he's looking good. The camera ain't doing him justice. But if you can get that figured out, if you can get the female problem figured out, the next thing that I have a problem with is facilities. The better facility you have, the easier it is to take care of your dogs and keep them healthy. If you got them in a bad spot, they're gonna be, they're gonna be in the mud, they're gonna be in poop, they're gonna catch different things, they're gonna stay wormy. You're gonna have to worm these dogs all the time anyway. But if you keep a bad facility, you're gonna worm them more. Not to mention they're gonna be getting out, they're gonna give you problems. This boy here tore up an $800 helmet a couple weeks ago, and then he tore up my another helmet that I just bought the other day. So if I let him out by himself, he likes to chew on stuff. That boy there. He chewed the top of his doghouse off. He gets upset and he'll turn around and take a bite out of something. So I have to protect him from himself in the type of places that I even let him stay in, because he might try to chew it and eat it. He was in a kennel in the back there and he ate the wall. And it was funny for a minute, but I'm starting to, he's going to have splinters in his intestines if I don't get him out of there. So I had to get him out of that kennel. He can't be in a wood kennel. So there's things you got to know about handling dogs, period. But if you have a, come here, come here. So to answer the young man's question, it can be done, but yes, I wouldn't make this my primary career from the beginning. If I was a young man, go get your life together and then try to do this. It won't be hard at all after that. Come here. Pearl. Come here. Pearl. Come here. Come here. I got all these girls and I got Drip over there. So if it wasn't for the facility, this would really be hard. Other than that, the next thing I would say is, the hardest thing for me is not keeping all the dogs, because I love bullies. And you got to know which ones to keep and which ones you have to sell to keep your program, to keep it going right. Not just starting right, but to keep it going right. Pearl, come on here. Mondo, did they get you dirty? And then after you decide which ones to keep and for what reason, come on. Trying to get them away from the studs. We don't want no studs. The big studs anyway. Come on, Legend. That boy Legend is amazing. My next problem is I love the dogs so much that I want to keep them all in the house. And you have to remember that you're a breeder, not a pet owner no more. Even though Legend is just like a son to me. I have to remember that we're breeding, And I can't keep all of my studs in the house. They not gonna get along. My next thing is after I decide which puppies to keep, which dogs I want to keep, then I have to decide, where to house them at. If they're gonna be house dogs with me, if I'm gonna leave them in the kennel. You see my little puppies, they in training right now. And I got a couple of these girls. These two girls, I think they're gonna be my house dogs. Come on, come on. This girl here's got some pups on the way. She's got maybe a month to go. We bred her with hard cut drip. He's a ghost tri-male. And it's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be nice. We're gonna see. We'll try to bring that tri-color out with the blue fawn that we got. Last time I bred Hardcut Debo, which is a chocolate bully, I bred him to Hardcut Cream, which is his blue fawn, and I got all these chocolates and chocolate brindles, blue chocolate brindle. So it was a real good breeding with those two. So I'm real excited about this next breeding come up. We also got Big Shirley's litter. It's still there right now. She's on the ground right now. We got 12 pups that are ready to go right now. Well, we're getting ready to go get the ears cropped tomorrow. Sometime next week, we're going to get the ears cropped. After the ears are healed up, it's about 10 days and they're ready to go. So we do have puppies available if you're looking for them. These pups that I kept, I had to go get them wormed. And when they have been on a wormer for the last 5 days, we've been giving them worm medication to get their weight back up. If you got puppies and it's not looking as healthy as you think they should be, take it to the vet, get a fecal matter exam done, and they can let you know what's the problem, if they got hookworms or whatever. Most of the time you can handle the worms, but them hookworms is different for some reason. You got to go get medication from the vet for that a lot of times. And a lot of times, realize, come on, come on. Come on, Candy. Come on, Legend. A lot of times you won't even realize that they have worms because you've been treating them from worms, but them hookworms is something different. So anyway, we got the 3 pups that I kept. We've got them on wormer. This has been their 5th day, and that's one of the things too, is keeping track of all your medical records and everything that keeps everybody on schedule. One of my main things is having a calendar. I have a breeding calendar, and I just put as many notes in it as I can. Anytime something happens, if a female goes in the heat, I put that on the calendar. The first day I notice it. If we breed, put that day on the calendar. The first day they got together. If breeding, or if how many days after, I count from my calendar. How many days before the C-section, all that comes from my calendar's count. When the puppies are born, I put how many puppies is born, what color they was, what time of day they was born, what order they was born in. I put all the information I can into that breeding calendar. When I worm them, I put that on there. I wormed them today. When I do flea and tick prevention, I put that on there. I did flea and tick today. So that there's no just remembering. I can just go back to my notes, and if I'm not there, anybody else can go back to my notes and say, well, he just wormed them last month, or he just took this one to the vet last month. Their dog is limping, but he just went to the vet the other day. That's what'll be in my notes. So I keep very up-to-date notes, and that makes it easier. So we talked about a few problems. Let's talk about a few things that makes it easier for me. And like I said, one of the main things is having that breeding calendar makes it easier. Second thing is having the facilities that I have, setting them up the way I need them to be set up, makes it easier. And when I say facilities make it easier, that could be something as simple as not having a latch on your dog pen, whereas you could go right to the dog pen, open the latch, and walk right in and let the dog out easily. If you don't have that latch on there, you got to unravel this and do all that. Whether you know it or not, that's giving you a problem every day. So make it as easy as you can to deal with your dogs. And that can be as easy as making the right latch on the door. So that's why I say facilities are important, because that's what's gonna keep your dogs healthy. And you don't want your dogs unhealthy. They depending on you to keep everything going, and you got to do that to keep everything going. Next thing is diet. We do a lot of raw here. I'll get them a raw chicken. Certain days we'll just buy, as many pounds of chicken as I can get on sale, and that's what we'll eat until that runs out. And other than that, we feed them Victor dog food or Taste of the Wild, but mostly just Victor and sports mix. The sports mix to kind of supplement it. And supplements is another main thing that you got to get. That's dad and granddad. That's dad and son there, and a couple of their nephews, I guess. No, that's niece and nephew. So yeah, you go to diet. Well, my diet, no matter what I'm doing, raw or kibble, we feed them NuVet Plus. The NuVet Plus is a great supplement, the best thing that I've found for Bullyz. And it just fills in all the gaps and stuff, and lets you, it fills in the gaps of whatever dog food you are using. It's got all the other vitamins and amino acids and stuff you need. Domino, that's enough. That's enough. So if you ain't got it yet, go get your, get back over here. Get back over here. So if you want your dogs running healthy like that down the street every time a squirrel come through, get you some NuVet Plus, www.nuvet.com. My breeder number is 384-132. You need a breeder's number in order to get it. They won't just sell it to regular people. But if you give them my breeder's number, you'll be able to get you some NuVet Plus, and that is the best supplement I've found, and you need all the help you can get. That's what we're talking about right now, is the things that make it easier in your breeding. Easier with having your camp, that is. So that's another great thing. After the diet, you got the NuVet Plus as a supplement to help you in case you do something, in case you forget one on one of the parts or two, that NuVet will kind of fill in that gap for you. That's the best thing that I've found and the best advice that I can give you. www.nuvet.com. Use my breeder number 384-132. Now, for me, another thing that kind of can get out of hand, but as you can see now, my camp, they have really figured out the pecking order. That's why I got the pups out here too right now with them. So I want them to get into the pecking order. I don't want them to be outcasts. But most of my camp, they have the pecking order. I can let them out. They run around together. But there are certain rules that I never do, and that's having a bunch of my studs out together. Now, Domino and Legend, the brother, dad and son, they really don't have any aggression towards each other. And I've been doing this same conditioning with them for a long time. That's why they're able to get out here and do this. But my other studs, as you can see, I have another stud right there. That boy, zoom in. Let me see. That's that boy Debo's right there. Debo's right there. Then I got Bo Jackson right there, and behind him I have Drip. So my point is, I don't have my studs out all together. That's a recipe for disaster. Most of the time they're going to get along because this breed definitely gets along. But if you have any female that's in heat or going into heat, now you got a problem. That's one of my rules. Don't let two studs out on the yard if you got a female in heat. So there's certain things that you got to know as a dog man, and it will save you some problems. Hey, that's enough, Domino. One of the most important things is you got to be the alpha. I'm not gonna say you got to be the alpha male, because you can be the alpha woman, but you got to be the alpha. None of these dogs can take your position. You got to be. If you're a woman, you got to be the matriarch. If you're a man, you got to be an alpha male. And if you do, the pack will follow you. and they'll listen to you. Then you can let them out more. If you can let them out more, they'll stay more healthy. If you're doing everything right, if you're warming them, if you're doing flea and tick prevention, the new veg supplements, if you're feeding them right, all that, then every time you let them out, they get a little bit stronger because they're running. But if you ain't feeding them right, if you don't have the supplements, you ain't going vet, then it ain't really helping them. It ain't really helping them, and that's why you ain't seeing the results. So that's one thing I would give you a tip as a puppies. Don't trip if they get to looking skinny or nothing. Don't worry about that. I told you that, and look at my dogs right now. All you need a lot of times is to get them dogs wormed, and things will be all right. So anyway, man, if you ain't did it by now, you need to come on out the bench for the big win. And get you something hard cut. It's on.